Hey everyone, today is April 4th, and it's been a little over a week since the stimulus bill was signed. Now, since then, there's been a lot of confusion about certain pieces of this bill, like who's eligible, do you need to file a tax return, and when can you expect to receive the payment? Well, in today's video, I want to cover those questions and a lot more that I've received over and over on the videos that I've published on the topic of the stimulus checks. Now, if you've already watched all those videos, this will help you sort through some of the misinformation that's out there. And if you haven't watched any of those videos before, this will get you caught up. But before we jump in, be sure to subscribe and hit that notifications bell. There's already talk about another stimulus bill, and as soon as we find out the details, I'll break it down for you right here on this channel. Also, if you have follow-up questions, be sure to put them in the comments below or join my private Facebook group. That's also linked up in the description below. And be sure to also check out the sources for all of this information, which I've linked up also in the description. Now, I've got a few questions to work through, but stick around for all of these because just one little thing could affect whether you get your check at all or in a timely fashion. Here we go. How much is the recovery rebate, also known as the stimulus check? It's $1,200 per adult and $500 per qualified child. Who qualifies as a child for purposes of this payment? A child is any dependent of a taxpayer under the age of 17. Now, when we say taxpayer, we're not talking necessarily about someone who files a tax return and owes taxes. We're talking about an individual that has a Social Security number. Will other dependents qualify for the $500 payment? No. The $500 payment is limited to children under the age of 17. What are the income limits? The thresholds for the payments are as follows. Individuals filing single, $75,000. Individuals filing head of household, $112,500. Individuals married filing jointly, $150,000. Now, this is the threshold where the phase-out of payment begins. These payments are reduced by $5 for every $100 above the respective thresholds. Now, what about seniors whose only income is from Social Security? Well, as long as they are not a dependent on someone else, they will qualify. What about veterans whose only income is a veteran's disability payment? Well, again, as long as they are not a dependent on someone else, they will qualify. What about those on SSI? Well, those on SSI and any other means-tested government benefits are also eligible for payments. There is no minimum income requirement to receive this payment. Well, what about college students? Well, only if they are not a dependent of their parent. And in many cases, a full-time college student under the age of 24 is considered a dependent if their parent provides more than half of their support. Now, I saw some proposed legislation to change this, but so far it hasn't gone anywhere. Will this payment be taxed? No, this payment will be treated just like any other tax refund. Will you have to pay this back? No, again, this is treated just like a tax refund. Is this payment subject to garnishments or offsets? Not in most cases. Normally, a tax refund is subject to an offset if you have a tax debt or you're behind in payments to any other government entities. The only offset that will be enforced for these payments is for past due child support. Who will not receive a payment? Well, the only individuals who will not receive a payment are those whose income is too high, those who are dependent of another taxpayer, those who owe past due child support, those who should have filed a tax return in 2018 or 19, but did not. Those are the four types of people who are not going to get a stimulus payment. When will payments be sent? Well, all indications tell us that most payments will begin to go out by April 17th. How will payments be sent? Here's what we know so far. Those who filed taxes in 2018 or 19 and have their direct deposit information on the return won't have to do anything. The payments are going to be sent directly to their bank account. Now, those who have not filed taxes in 2018 or 19, but should have filed a tax return, will need to file a tax return to receive the payment. And those with an income below $69,000 can file for free. You can go to the IRS's website and find their free filing, and it'll route you out to a vendor. You can just Google IRS free filing, but I'll also put the direct link to the IRS webpage in the description below. Those who receive Social Security will receive their payment direct to their bank account, direct express card, or by paper check. However, they typically receive their payment. Now, if you are on SSI or only veterans benefits, I'll address your situation in just a moment. But there is something else you need to know here. Can I give the IRS my bank information to get the payment via direct deposit? I get this question a lot from people who say, Devin, I filed my taxes in 2018 and 19, but I didn't give the IRS my bank account information because I had to pay taxes. So again, if you included that information on the tax return, they already have it, and that covers about 70 million Americans. The other 80 million who are eligible for a stimulus payment will be able to submit it via an online portal in the near future. Now, currently it's not available, but the IRS website says to expect that by late April or early May. Secretary Mnuchin said that the goal of the Treasury is to send all payments electronically, but he also indicated that some payments would probably have to go by paper check for those individuals who haven't provided any banking information or don't have any other electronic means set up. Who will need to file a simple tax return as directed by the IRS to receive a payment? Okay, this has been a big point of contention here. The way this is currently written requires anyone who typically doesn't file taxes to file a simple tax return unless they receive an SSA 1099 or RRB 1099. Now that means that recipients of SSI or only veterans benefits will have to file a simple tax return as of now. There are multiple lawmakers trying to get this changed, so I suspect that within a day or so, those on SSI or only veterans benefits will also not have to file a return. But for now, you do, so it's very important to monitor the website for changes. Can a grandchild get a stimulus check? Well, if you claim your grandchild or grandchildren as dependents, there's going to be an additional $500 payment per grandchild. The catch here is that you will have to file a tax return so the IRS knows you have a dependent in your household. And by filing that tax return, that could get you an additional $500. But you probably do need to check with your tax advisor before you do that because there's a lot going on in your individual situation, and I'm certainly not your tax advisor. So those are the 17 questions that I've gotten most often on my other videos. But if you have a question that I didn't cover here, please drop it in the comments below. And remember to keep monitoring IRS.GOV/coronavirus for changes. Thanks for watching.